about Easter is when I get to pull out my white clothes, my white dresses, my white shoes, pants. And I know that probably sounds really silly because a lot of people tell me that rule's outdated, and maybe it is. But as a Christian, it even seems symbolic because, see, before I knew Christ, my life was filled with all the darkness of sin and intentions that weren't the best in whatever I was doing. And when I was 8 years old, I was going to about the third vacation Bible school of the summer that I was going to, coming from the Christian home that I belonged to. And I noticed that all of my friends were praying the prayer of salvation and getting baptized. And for 9 years, I lived like that, thinking that I was a Christian. But it took me that long until I was 17 to realize that I did not have a relationship with Christ. Because what happened was I was taught the ABCs, that meant believe, confess. But no one ever really told me, and this also probably sounds silly, about having a relationship with Christ and how important that is. It's so much more than just believing. And actually in Matthew, there's some verses where Jesus talks about how in heaven one day there will be people wanting to enter the gate, and he will say that all those who have said, Lord, Lord, will not necessarily enter, but those who did the work of his Father will. And that's why I follow Christ, because I lived for 9 years thinking that I was a Christian, and I never really had happiness. My life was still filled with all those dark things, just the darkness of sin. And it wasn't until I established that relationship with Christ and took it beyond just believing where I found that happiness. And I now have lived in that happiness for several years of having a relationship with Christ. And with the crucifixion of Christ, he was able to wash away that darkness out of my life and make me pure and without fault, just like those white garments that I mentioned earlier about Easter. And that's significant because that's what his crucifixion did for me and for anyone else. So that's how one of my favorite things about Easter actually incorporates to my faith. And my name is Sarah McCorkle, and now you know why I follow Christ, and I hope that you and your family have a very happy Easter.